Right, it's a little bit windy, so bear with me. We're looking at the gunnera, or what's left of it. So it's been a bit of a funny up and down year. We've had loads of rain at the start of summer and quite cool temperatures, and then it's just been, for the last month, decent heat but very dry. We did have a good portion of rain last weekend, and we've just had some last night as well, but that's too late for the gunnera. I've cut a lot of leaves off. I mean, some of the taller leaves are looking okay, but a lot of the understory leaves had collapsed, and I had to cut them out. So for me, I know it is a staple of the UK tropical garden, gunnera, you know, big leaves, but to me they're not particularly tropical looking. I mean, they're just a giant rhubarb at the end of the day, and they're a little bit high maintenance for me in my garden because the amount of water they take. And in the past, I did used to have a giant koi pond here. It's now the hothouse, so I did used to dump a lot of the wastewater onto the gunnera, and that was fine. But now it's become too much of a chore to try and water something of this size. So this is coming out. I'm going to get rid of the gunnera. Lost interest in it. Not what I'm looking for in my garden. I can understand why many people grow it. Again, size. You know, you do feel like it's an interesting, huge, exotic looking plant, but for me it doesn't look exotic. I'm not going to keep going on about it. That's coming out. I don't like it. Too much work for me trying to water that, so that's going. And I'll give you an example. There's one leaf I didn't actually get to, so it's totally died off here, and some of the bigger leaves have just totally dried. So that's been too dry. We don't get rain, a lot of rain in the summer, and that's a plant. It's just too high maintenance, so that is going. So it may be a bit of a contradiction, but I'm going to take that out. I'm going to put some other shade loving, moisture loving plants, but something a bit smaller there, something that's more manageable to look after. Just the sheer amount of water that the gunnera takes. There's a reason why they grow on water's edge, because they need wet feet, and with sandy soil in my garden, too much work. Right, so that will be coming out, so I will have something of height to replace it. So I'm going to be putting this roost tree in, or staghorn sumac. That will be going in the place to give me some height, and then again we'll have some shade, big leaf shade plants underneath there, and so that'll be a little project for next year. I may well dig that gunnera out in the next couple of weeks, because that'll be only going to decline now anyway, with the ever decreasing lack of daylight. Days are getting a lot shorter, weather's starting to change. It's definitely past its best. It's not going to look any better. It's only going to go downhill, so I may well cut and dig all that up. On another note, sort of plans for next year, which will run into this year because there's a little preparation work, but so all summer I've had a collection of pots in the middle of the lawn here, just to give me an idea whether I wanted another garden bed in this area. And because the first thought was, because I had the Bootiagris aerospatha in a pot, and obviously I do want to get it in the ground at some point, and I weren't sure whether I wanted another sort of raised bed or centre garden bed, but I've lived with it. I don't like it as it is there, just sat in the middle there. But what I thought I might do is with the other sort of palm bed in the centre here, so we've got a lot of slow growing palms crammed in this bed, and then we've got the sort of raised portion with the Gibberella chilensis, which is settled in really nicely this year, to be fair. So instead of having a raised bed on its own, I'm going to connect it to these beds, so that'll be one big centre bed. So I'm going to join up this side and come out a bit along the edge of the raised area, so it's going to come out a couple of foot and come out to roughly where the pots are, and then come back again, and that'll be just be one big centre bed rather than lots of little ones. So I've already done it with this one, because this was a separate bed here to the raised area here, and I did have lawn going in between, and a few years back I joined that together, and now I'm going to extend. So basically from the raised portion here, I'm going to have a similar sized bed to what it is here at the other end of this, so it'll still give me a lawn area around here, still enough lawn for some chairs for when people come round for barbecue or whatever, and still plenty of lawn area around this side to have a bit of open space, but still plenty more opportunity for plantings. So the prep work will be, I'm going to find a shape I like for this new centre bed, and I'll just get loads of cardboard, cut it to shape where I want it, and then probably mulch it or weigh it down with something just to kill the grass off over winter, and then next year that'll be ready to plant up and do the edging on it. So yeah, that'll just be a case of that'll be mapped out where it is, and like I say, cardboard over the top just to kill the grass off. And over this summer I've obviously accumulated quite a few plants, and with ever lack of space to put them, that'll give me plenty of room to make this area a bit more interesting rather than just a sort of blank bit of lawn. Right, so that is the plan. Yeah, I'm quite looking forward to doing that next year. Like I say, that'll give me lots of opportunities to move about some plants and get some new plants in. I say new plants I've already got but not gone in the ground yet. Yeah, so I think it's good at this time of year to evaluate your garden, see what you're happy with, see what you're not, see what you want to change for next year, because a lot of changes will take some preparation, and get it in your head this time of year. You've got all winter to plan out how you're going to attack that particular job, and then when spring comes you can get stuck straight in. Right, so that's just a couple of little plans, some jobs I've got in mind. As regards to what I'm actually going to plant in this new new centre bed extension, like I say, the Butiagris will be going in. I may well put another palm or two in, obviously spaced out, because I don't really want to take away from, the idea was that the Gibberella was going to be the centrepiece of the garden, the big palm, but I think I can get away with having a smaller palm sort of midsection, and at the end the Butiagris, which will get big in time, and that'll still be just enough room between that and the Canariensis there, which is getting bigger by the year. Yeah, so Still debating what the other palm will be. I've got plenty of palms in pots which can go in there. Maybe one of the more unusual Trachycarpus species, or maybe something a bit more tender which I might want to push my luck with a bit. I don't know, I'm still thinking about that. So there'll be some palms in there, and intermingled with other things, probably definitely some elephant ears, because they're good little fillers for the summer, and probably some of the small cord lines I've got, which are sitting in pots at the minute, so they may well get intermingled in there as well. Being the more fancy sort of coloured ones, they don't get massive. I mean, they still eventually will get 8 or 10 foot, but they won't get massive like the big cordline Australis, which I've got no idea how tall that is now, but it is pretty big. Yeah, so the idea is I don't want to have anything too solid in there where that's going to block light to the borders behind. So something that'll be airy, and palm trees, you do get like it's not a solid canopy, you'll get dappled sun come through that, so it's not going to block too much light to other plants elsewhere in the garden. Yeah, so we'll leave it there. That is some plans for next year. So I'm already getting excited about it, because I know I've got more planting opportunities, and when you've got as many plants as I have, you need to put them in the ground at some point. And I was getting to the point where I'm struggling with the borders the way they are, and I still haven't ruled out, because I have got this area here which is pretty much in shade, but I may well shave a portion of this lawn off here to give me more planting opportunities there as well. So it's just about, like I say, this year's been quite a heavy year for buying plants, and I need to start getting them in the ground, so that's going to give me that opportunity. Right, so other than that, I thank you for watching. I'm going to enjoy the nice weather while it lasts, because I think it's sort of going downhill a bit this week. I know we're still, even though we're officially autumn, it's still it's still very warm here. We've had a couple of days of 25 degrees, and it's, I don't know, about 22 today already, even though it's quite windy. But it's going to be dropping off over the next few days. But we still get pretty good weather into October, so I'm not worried about bringing any sort of tender plants in yet. By far away from my mind at the minute, not worried about that. Yeah, again, thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.